So, welcome to another edition of the Mentorship Spotlight series. My name is Christine Krieger, and I am the Professional Development Consultant for the Colorado State Library and co chair of the Cal Mentorship Interest Group, who is bringing you this series. And today I am delighted to have with us Lori Romero, who is the manager of the Child and Family Services Department, which is focused on early literacy for the Arapahoe Library District. So, welcome, Lori. I'm glad you could join us today.
Well, thank you so much, Christine. It was really nice of you to invite me to participate in this. I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first question. Do you have a mentor or some other person in your life who inspires you in your career? And if so, how have they influenced you? And how would you describe your leadership style?
Oh, okay. I would have to say, well, first of all, that I have lots of mentors. Every day I feel like I'm being mentored by somebody and I'm learning from somebody. And so I have lots. And I can think of actually three people throughout my career that have probably influenced me the most. And I'll say actually careers because I've been at this for a pretty long time. And I started out as an educator. And I think back to quite a few years ago with a person named JP, who was teaching a literacy class. And she was so passionate about reading and helping kids and getting strategies and ways to help kids. And I loved the enthusiasm she showed. And I thought at that point, and I was a teacher, I thought, I want to be a trainer. I want to learn more about reading and I want to be a reading trainer. And so I just said that to her one day, thinking it wouldn't go anywhere. And she said, well, if you want to do this, become this specific reading intervention trainer, you have to take this class for the year. Then you have to take the training to be a trainer for a year, and you have to get a master's degree. So I thought, well, I don't know. And sure enough, because she took the time to believe in me and say, you can do this and I'll be by your side, I went on and was able to actually accomplish that goal. So I think she inspired me and influenced me by showing that, when you believe in people, they can go a lot further than you think, including yourself. So that's one. Sorry, I have more than one.
That is okay.
My second key mentor of my career really was who used to be my boss, Donna Walker, who's now at Jeffco, but she was at Arapahoe. And she taught me a lot. A couple of the things I can think of with Donna is she taught me that you can be warm and friendly and fun, but also be very intentional, know your goals, know why you're doing what you're doing, kind of expect excellence from yourself and your staff. And that excellence will make you want to make any staff member want to do their best and want to be their best. And so fortunately, I got to observe that, and I just wanted to be her when I grow up. I still do. But so I think I learned that from her, and I got to start a department because of her belief in me in that way too, and realizing that, I can do more. And then finally, my current boss, Cynthia Kiyotake, I've really learned so much from her and still do every day as a mentor, because she has taught me that a leader doesn't need to be loud and demanding, but can be really pretty quietly effective and kind, and kind of has taught me to be more egoless and be a listener and kind of gather people together in a leadership style that is very effective, rather than inserting myself So I hope I take that that lesson with me when I'm with the folks that I work with now.
Yeah, that's perfect. And Cynthia also did a mentor spotlight for us. So it's kind of fabulous to
I
see
think
how
I
it all
knew that,
links
and I haven't
together.
watched hers, but I would,
Yeah,
but I sure will.
excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
So the next question is, how would you describe your leadership style?
I think I would say I try to be authentic, and I think I'm very team focused. And not because of me by any stretch, but I have had little turnover on my team over the last more than a decade. And I think a lot of it is because I try to be real. Um, when I have failures or I'm stressed, I'll just talk about it with my team. And, they know me well. They know, some personal stuff, and they know what makes me laugh. We laugh together, we're silly together, we have a lot of celebrations. They know, when I make a mistake, they hear about it, and I try to be humble about it, and honest. So hopefully I'm authentic with them, and that seems to have served me well. And the other part is, I think, just kind of cheerleading for our team has been helpful. Kind of having a common goal as a group, and everybody really believing in what we're doing and working together, and emphasizing that in my leadership, I think has been helpful.
Yeah, I've done a
I
lot
don't
of,
know if authentic team focused is
yeah.
a thing, but that's what
I
that's what I would have to say.
I definitely think it is, and I've done a lot of reading lately, and kind of being able to share that common shared vision for where your team
Yeah.
wants to go seems to be critically important. So that makes a lot of sense.
Well, and we are an early literacy team, which I think has been a gift, and makes that a little bit easier in some ways, because we do have a mission that's pretty clear, and a focus that's pretty easy to follow. So.
Excellent. The next question is, what is the most important leadership lesson you've learned, and how has it proven invaluable?
I really have to say it's kind of continuing the same conversation, but it's putting relationships over tasks. And I try to say that little mantra every time I walk through our workroom in our office, and I see, something not done, or a kind of a mess, or and I just say relationships over tasks, because I know that if people feel comfortable and good and strong and good about themselves, we're going to accomplish our goals, and things will skyrocket, rather than me focusing on what needs to be checked off the list. So that, I would say, is the most valuable lesson.
And I really like that, because I think about how that can resonate then onto the patrons, and relationships over tasks works well when you're working with the public as well. So,
Yeah, I agree.
all right. Our final question is, what questions are you asking yourself lately?
Well, again, focused so much on early childhood, and, we can't not read the papers, or listen to the news and be concerned post-COVID, about kids in my world, and families. And, you read about reading scores and social emotional health, and kids not being prepared for school, and really struggling. And, that really falls on parents, and there's so much pressure on parents and caregivers, to not only to handle financial stress and everything else that they're dealing with, and work stress, but also to catch their kids up. So the question I keep wondering is, what's the next thing? Is there something we could be doing differently, or more, or better, but that is sustainable and that would really make an impact and help parents and caregivers kind of fortify them to feel like they are able to help their kids get caught up and succeed. I think libraries already are a nice, soft kind of spot to fall for, I'm thinking of parents with young kids. It's great that they can come into a library and come to a story time and still feel welcome and not too pressured. But is there a thing that we could be doing that would really help with the language delays and help with the mental health issues that are cropping up at earlier and earlier ages? So that's kind of what I'm thinking a lot about. One of the things that we do is, so many libraries do, is get into schools and get into, in our case, preschools, and work with teachers, and they're struggling too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm asking myself that question: what could we do, and is there more? Are we enough? I mean, I hope so. I'm certainly proud of all that we do, but what's the next thing?
Yeah, I think, as we're coming out of the pandemic and kind of figuring out where we are, and it kind of, to me, kind of ties back to one, the balance between, wanting to do more and being sustainable. So I'm glad you mentioned sustainability. And then I just looped right back to your mantra of relationships over tasks, because I think realistically, having relationships with the people in our community, having relationships with the kids in our community is going to make more of a difference than we might think. So
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good way to end it on a positive note.
well, thank you for that mantra. Well, I can carry that with me as well. So I really want to thank Lori for joining us for this mentorship spotlight, and will join us for more in the future. Thank you again, Lori, for joining us.
Thank you. This is wonderful.